What's going on, you guys? My name is Zach Hartley and welcome back to my weekly watch list video. In this one, we're going to talk about Canadian banks as well as 3 technology stocks that I think are showing great opportunities from a technical standpoint. Here's everything you need to know. Let's go. Okay, so to start us off here, we're just going to take a look at the broad market, starting with the NASDAQ. And as you can see, we found some support around 10,000. We've been trading in a slight bullish channel ever since then, but it has been fairly choppy for at least the last month. We've basically been in a long-term bearish trend going downwards. Hopefully this is the bottom of it, but it is too early to say, at least for the NASDAQ. When we look at the S&P 500, it's a little bit clearer of a bullish channel over the last kind of month to month and a half. Very nice to see. I personally am looking for the breakthrough of 4,100 and then 4,300 right here. These are going to be some key levels, and if we can break through 4,300, that could be the indication of a new bullish trend. That would be setting a new higher high, which is what we are looking for. And when it comes to the Dow Jones, we are very close to setting that new higher high. As you can see, we have resistance right here around 34,000. If we can break through that, I do think it could be the start of a new bullish trend, which would be very nice to see. When it comes to Bitcoin though, it does not look quite as rosy. Ever since the FTX bankruptcy, we have basically been trading sideways between 16,000 and 17,000. So definitely still in a bearish trend for Bitcoin. Now, when it comes to earnings this week, we got a lot of companies coming out. We got CrowdStrike, XPeng, Snowflake, Dollar General, ChargePoint, and we also have a lot of the Canadian banks. You can see we got Scotiabank on Tuesday, RBC on Wednesday, and then we got TD, BMO, and CIBC all on Thursday. So we're going to talk about these banks in just one second here. But what I do want to highlight for you is interest rates. We've got the next US Fed meeting happening on December 14th. So that is going to be a big day that you need to have in your calendar and watch for. We also have the Bank of Canada meeting on December 7th, which is basically coming up here in about a week and a half here. And then something really interesting that has just happened here in Canada is that half of variable rate mortgage holders with fixed payments have now hit their trigger rate. Now, what that trigger rate means is basically that the interest payments on a monthly basis for their house is greater than their fixed payments, meaning that their entire monthly payment is now going just towards interest and not even paying down any of the principal for their debt. So not a good situation to be in if you have a variable rate mortgage or you're already above your trigger rate and you live in Canada. It's something that you need to manage and need to deal with. There are some options for you to extend the amortization rate on your mortgage, but honestly, you need to be very, very careful here. If you are paying more in interest and not paying down any of the principal on your house, that is not a situation that you want to be in. Now, when it comes to Canadian banks, like I said, they are all reporting this week, and as of right now, these Canadian banks, they look like a decent opportunity, but you need to consider this. The higher interest rates go, the more money that these banks are going to make. But if it goes to a point where it's too high, people are going to start defaulting on the debt and the mortgages that they have. So it's kind of this tricky balance where the higher it goes, the more money they make, up to a certain point where it's basically a diminishing return. And so when it comes to banks, you have to kind of decide for yourself, do you trust the banks? Do you think we're going to be in an okay economy where people are going to be able to continue their payments even at the higher interest rates? Or do you think everything is going to collapse? If you think things are going to continue, then Canadian banks represent a good opportunity because as of right now, they have good price to earnings ratio. Here, the 5 Canadian banks that are reporting this week, all of them have price to earnings ratios below 12.5. They're all paying good dividends right now, with the smallest dividend coming in at 3.8 and the highest dividend coming in at 5.8%. And they all have good payout ratios, all below 50%. So overall, the Canadian banks all look like good dividend companies to me. Personally, I am most interested in CIBC, so that is the one that we are going to talk about with regards to the stock chart. So if you look at CIBC, they hit a low of $33 at the height of COVID. They ran all the way up to $83, and then they have come back down to basically pre-COVID levels here. We've seen a little bit of a bounce off of this kind of $55 to $57 price level where we were at before COVID. It looks like we've seen a nice little rally over basically the last month or two, and now we are starting to break out of this short-term trend. If we can continue to break out of it, I do think it's a good opportunity because it's also paying a nice and steady dividend. Now, the next company I want to point out to you here is, again, sort of like the banks. If you believe in it long term, then it's probably going to do extremely well. But if you think it still has a lot more pain and you think it's just kind of a house of cards, then just stay away from it. But this one is Tencent. They are subject to the Chinese government, and they're going through a little bit of trouble right now with COVID. But over the last little while, we have been in a very strong bearish trend. The stock has lost maybe 75% of its value, all the way down to $24 here. We're seeing a nice bit of a rally right now and kind of breaking out of this trend line. And over the long term, over the next couple of years, I think Tencent's probably going to do well. They're growing extremely fast. They have a price to earnings of just 13, and they're currently testing this long-term resistance trend that we have basically seen for the last almost year and a half. Next company here is ASML. Again, this company has been in a very long-term bearish trend, at least over the last kind of 8 to 9 months here. We have finally broken out of this bearish trend right here, and we are now approaching previous highs. If we can break through this high level right here around $600 and continue to break out, that is going to be a very, very bullish sign. ASML, if you don't know, is the company that makes the machines that make advanced computer chips. The entire world runs on this company, and they are the only company in the world that can make the equipment this advanced. They have a huge strategic advantage. They're doing very well, and I really like the company long term as well. Last one here is Tesla. Tesla is a company that I'm pretty positive about over the long term, but over the short term, you just never know what direction the stock is going to go in. But as of right now, we are hovering around a very key level right here around $180. You can see we found support here twice in 2021. We are now hovering around this exact same level here at the end of 2022. If we find support here and we continue to bounce off of this area, I am going to be buying some Tesla shares, but I do want to see good confirmation of a bounce off this area of support first, because as of right now, we again are in a short-term bearish trend with Tesla, and Elon Musk has his hands full with everything that he's got going on. So these are the 4 companies that I'm watching going into this week ahead. If you're interested in coming out to Calgary or you live in Calgary, definitely consider coming out to the meetup that is happening on November 29th. We are doing a property tour with Addy Invest. That is a real estate investing platform. Then we are going to do drinks at Greta Bar downtown. Very, very nice bar. Lots of fun and good drinks. There's a link in the description if you want to sign up for either of these 2 events. You can come meet me. Let's grab a drink together. Let's chat YouTube. Let's chat investing. Let's chat stocks. And let's chat real estate. If you want to come to that, it's completely free. We're going to be taking a look at the latest property that has just dropped on the Addy Invest platform. So definitely come check it out. And if you got any value out of this video, please remember to click that like and subscribe button. Check out the links down below, and I will see you in the next video. Good luck trading, good luck investing, and we'll talk to you soon.